Wage slavery broke your spirit. Wage slavery is something that's terrible, and you want to know what to do. So first, before you want to get to the root of this, you want to ask yourself a couple things here. Like, why do, for instance, we drag our sorry asses out of bed every day to these soul-crushing cubicle farms? Well, I mean, get off your treadmill, man. You're on a treadmill of depression, and it's driving you into like a hamster wheel of hell. You're like a hamster in a wheel in the rat race, and you want to get out. And this is probably why you're coming here in the first place and getting my, of all things, input on this. So, like, realize that your life smells like wood chips and broken dreams right now because you're in a hamster cage. The reality, the cruel reality of this is that you're living in a capitalist mass multiplayer game of Monopoly. We call it America. It's built on broken dreams and, children sacrificed on the altar to the almighty dollar. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. It really blows. And we're like taught stuff. We're raised from a young age. Like the Spartans, we're brought up into a military society in the same way that we're kind of brought up into an economic society, only it's way more mentally deranged. So yeah, why do we do it then? For one, we're conditioned into it. We're conditioned to believe that employment is our only path. Under the yoke of a boss, you find a rich man, be his slave. Money will be your god. Money will be your guiding force for the rest of your life. You're a Spartan. You're an economic Spartan, only with developmental disabilities. So you're shackled to the grind, my friend. You're here. You're stuck. And you know that you can't get out despite everybody telling you about freedom, liberty, democracy. It's all just a big sham. It's all big show. You're shackled to the grind while the game masters, the ones who control the mass multiplayer global game of Monopoly, are raking in the dough, man. But you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting tits from this. And yet you keep playing. You're just a pawn in a rigged system. Now, okay. Let's get back to work, okay? Let's zone in here before our brains short circuit from lack of commodity. The game is rigged. The house holds all the cards, and you're here. That's depressing. It's a depressing state of affairs. Nonetheless, wage slavery, what is it? What is this word? Because, right, slavery isn't legal anymore. There's no slavery in society. It's not here. That can't be happening. Whatever happened to Abraham Lincoln? Whatever happened to the Emancipation Proclamation? Right? Well, there's what would make you think that slavery, this institution that sort of has followed around this economic system since its inception, would be completely obliterated, right? Not have some sort of emergent or tacit barnacle still attached to it. So wage slavery, man, it's society's little dirty secret. You're technically free, right? While all the while you're still selling your soul paycheck to paycheck. It's like comparing your job to chattel slaves, except instead of chains, okay, instead of being on the plantation, you're not chained to a given plantation owner. You're shackled through bills, rent, and that goddamn grocery list. Sure, legally you're free. Free to wake up every day, drag yourself to work, and surrender your freedom in exchange for just enough cash to keep you alive for another round of fucking whatever it is. It's not a choice. It's survival. Survival of the fattest. You're not chasing your dreams, man. They're not even your dreams to begin with. What got you here in the first place? Maybe you're poor. Most people who aren't either a Hilton, a Trump, a Soros, a Bloomberg, they're not worrying about this. You're not chasing your dreams. You're dodging bankruptcy. And who's calling the shots? It's your boss. Is that freedom? Is that really freedom? A boss, it's just a little dictator. Little tiny dictators that tell you when you could take your bathroom break, tell you what to wear, what to say, how to say it. They decide, how thin you're going to spread your paycheck across your life. Because, as it shows, as we all know, it's going to the fat cats, the fatties at the top. They're getting their share. They're getting their dinner, right? So you keep showing up. You keep pretending this was all a part of the plan. Well, all the while, the real power lies with those who make sure you stay hungry. Just enough to keep you coming back. It's just a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. So how do we deal with this secret? It's a big, mass, public secret. We repress it. This is how we deal with our things. This is how we deal with our problems, is we repress it. The public secret, wage slavery. That is the employee-employer dialectic, the employee-employer relationship. We try to convince ourselves about liberty. We stand with liberty. We're here for liberty. We're here for justice. Now give me a job so you can tell me what to do. You're crippling me. You're just dogging me, dude. You're dogging me. This falls under the dynamic of what Slavoj Zizek, the philosopher, calls the public secret. The public secret's like this. It's like an elephant in the room that everybody sees it, but nobody wants to talk about it because, that'll ruin the party. It's the unspoken rule. It keeps everybody together. It keeps society, all the possible fragmentation of society from falling apart. It's the glue that holds the group together. Sometimes ignoring the obvious is the only thing keeping us from degrading into total and utter chaos, Hunger Games, dystopian panem and circuses. Repression. It's a commodity. It's an export. It's because it's one of America's exports. It's one of our greatest exports. The reason why you might feel miserable, probably, in this system, like wage slavery is killing your spirit, is probably because of repression. There's definitely some psychological stuff going on with repression here. I'm not gonna lie. That maybe it's the mismatch between what we say we believe in and what we actually do. Liberty, freedom, democracy, turning up every day to a job you hate. I mean, you're turning yourself into that employee-employer dynamic. It's a relationship I can only compare to BDSM, only you're not the one holding the whip. You're not the one, you're the gimp, all right? You're Zed from fucking Pulp Fiction, okay? You're the gimp that comes out of the box when it's time to come out of the box, that they just keep in a little trésor in their basement, okay? That's us. That's the majority of people. And it's unfreedom disguised as freedom, and they make it sound like it's freedom with just lots of pretty words and dolling it up every 4th of July to give you the sense that you're making a pursuit of liberty and happiness, while all the while suppressing your fucked up psychological shit. So repressing this secret is it's like trying to stuff a beach ball underwater. We all know what happens in psychology when you're repressing shit. The beach ball underwater, you push it, it bounces back up. You push it in, it bounces back up. It's only a matter of time before it comes flying back in your face and fucks up your hairdo. So now we know what it is. We've pinpointed it. Step 2 is washing it off. So here's how wage slavery breaks your spirit. Let me break it down for you. It crushes your soul, mainly because you're forced to do it. And this is completely counter to human nature. Humans don't like this shit at all. You ask any one human. Let's just get this off of our back here. First, recognize this is not voluntary. It's back to what I said. It's unfreedom in the guise of freedom. But you really have no other choice. You have no other options, and it just forces you back into it. Any way or place you go about it, you're always getting guided right back into the fray of it. And let's just get this out of the way here. Starting your own fucking business. So if you tell someone, "Oh, I hate my job. I want to quit. This is wage slavery. This is horrible." Oh, just start your own business. Look at that person and fucking give them the look that's just fucking kill yourself. What does that look? Fucking Like, seriously. Just start your own business. Wow. You should just start your own business, kid. You want to get out? Well, you could always just start your own business. Or you could find another job. Like, none of these options are real options. Okay, you're like telling a drowning person, just swim to shore. Yeah, but I'm in the middle of the Atlantic gyre. Come on. Swimming around with a bunch of microplastic. It sounds simple. Yeah, it's so simple. The answer's so fucking simple. But it's completely ridiculous, out of touch brain rot. Okay, here's why you can't just start your own business. You're not just looking at the structures and believing in the structures. You're not just looking at it through rose-colored glasses. You're looking at it through wine-colored glasses, because you must be drunk. Get your head out of your fucking dick, you dog. All right? Here's why this won't work. Flat out. First off, not everybody has the luxury of a safety net. Most folks just trying to make ends meet. You can't even get past your savings. It's like I'm broke to tears. I'm broke to tears because I live in California, and when I pay all of my expenses, my savings is dump. It's gone. This is the state of affairs of most people right now, okay? A single surprise car repair is going to put you into bankruptcy. So starting a business requires shit that most people don't even fucking have. Capital, connections, and a marketable idea. None of which just magically appears out of thin air. You can't just positive think your retarded idea into experience. And then the failure rates. Oh my God, the failure rates of businesses these days. Okay, so here it is. Businesses show that around 20% fail in the first year. And about half of businesses are still standing after 5 years. So come on, dude. Like, certain startups, sure. They all, at the end, 90% failure rate. 90 to 95% failure rate. And that number is always getting larger because that's the way that they want it. Failure rate. Like, you're going to take this failure rate and then somehow statistics and just completely annihilate it on your deluded thinking? Come on. You're a part of the problem. You're in the system. You're plugged in. You're a part of this issue that we need to fix, okay? Statistic is the norm, all right? So what do you do if your business fails? What if you can't afford to just leave your job? You're going to find another job? Well, that completely defeats the fucking purpose now, doesn't it, you retard? All right, so sit back, open up a bag of Skittles, and taste the rainbow, because here's your reality check. Okay, you aren't doing any of this because you're free. You do it because you have to. Oh my God. Dear Lord, that concept, maybe this system that brought us slavery, the first part of it, maybe this system that was born out of peasant and feudal lords lording over us, this need for hierarchy that we all have, that Jordan Peterson talks about as being the lobster hierarchy. Maybe this is the go-to template that we sort of build everything else on. The base structure theory of reality. So this is why you do it. First off, you're broke as hell. You're not working because you love it. You're working because rent doesn't pay itself, and neither does that endless supply of ramen you're living on. You've engaged survival mode. It's about survival. It's about fucking survival. The number two is because you depend on it. You're on a life raft of despair. You hate your job, but the idea of joining the unemployment line, updating your resume, is more scary than the boss's shitty breath. So if anybody who's tried to apply on Indeed nowadays just knows what I'm talking about, you're just carpet bombing employers with your resume, just and hoping to God, swearing, praying to God that you're not going to get that horrible letter that just is sort of passive aggressive, unfortunately you weren't a part of our end candidate. As much as we like you, as much as you're a great person, it's just pathetic and it's sad. I'd rather you just stick it to me, like tell me to go fuck myself. What if they just sent you a letter that just says, you're a piece of shit. resume you sent was awful. It was garbage. It was literally gave me AIDS, and I want you the hell away from me. So, stick it to you. You're clinging to the paycheck. It's your life raft, the life raft of despair. Another reason, number 3, okay, you're brainwashed. You've been brainwashed into this. There's a possibility of brainwashing. It's not just a conspiracy. They've been doing this since the inception of civilization, trying to create a reality. And your society's been telling you got to keep up with the Joneses, people. You want to get that Lamborghini? You want to get the Lamborghini in the Hollywood Hills? You got to keep up with the Joneses. Society's telling you should be grinding away at that soul-sucking job, keeping up your appearances. So it's just garbage. You've been brainwashed. It's possible. You probably are. I mean, we're at 10,000 different ads per day or something. Some ridiculous amount that we're advertised to per day. Maybe it's not 10,000. Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe I just overreacted there. But you're trying to play the game. You're trying to climb the corporate ladder because apparently living your dream means dying a little inside every day. So okay, number 4 is you have no escape route. There's no safety net for you. You dream of quitting. You want to quit. You want to go live you want to go and do something else, but you can't afford it because you have to take care of your kids. You have a job provides you with what does it do in America? They provide you with health care, right? That's where they get you. They got you by the balls. That's why the Republicans don't want health care to be outside of the realm of the private institute, because they know that they could continuously have the labor class, the working class, dependent on the fucking teat of healthcare. Because what does everybody need eventually? They need healthcare. We're monkeys. We're wage monkeys. There's no escape. Your job market's a wasteland. Your resume's got more holes than Swiss cheese. I mean, come on. So you stay put. You keep telling yourself, "Oh, I'm gaining experience. I'm gaining experience." No. You're dying inside. You're dying. Every single minute is a tiny little death. Number 5 is change is terrifying. Change is actually more scary than the idea of wage slavery. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So instead of chasing your dream, you stay in your comfort zone. You know what I mean? This is what gets you into trouble in the first place. But the most dangerous thing, remember this, the most dangerous risk you could take is the most risky thing you could do is taking no risk at all. Just came up with that right now. Write that down. God, I'm fucking smart. God, I'm so fucking good, man. All right, number 6. You're bored, but you're safe. You could look for something new, but hey, at least this job doesn't surprise you. The monotony is easy. It's stability. Stability over sanity. Sure, it's soul-crushing, but the benefits are sweet, right? Health insurance, paid time off. It's like little shiny sprinkles on the turd cupcake. But you gotta eat it. You gotta eat that shit cupcake. And I promise you, it's not gonna taste like vanilla ice cream. It's gonna taste like shit. So I mean, screw your passions. You gotta eat. As much as you'd love to just fuck off, you gotta eat and pay the bills, because there's no clocking out of life. And somebody's gotta fund your coffee addiction. So better the crap you know than the scaries. Oh, okay, gosh, I gotta freaking get this moving, on. So there's these are all forces, okay? When we talk about slavery, we're always talking about, well, you can't leave slavery. Yes, you can. You just gotta put one foot in front of the other when the plantation owner's not looking, and start moving in the opposite direction, right? So, I mean, if you don't like being a slave, fucking skedaddle. What's keeping you from moving to the north, where the Yankees in the north are a little bit more, have got a little bit more of a progressive outlook on things. And so, moving that direction. This is the same idea, except that all of the forces that I just mentioned, that's all stuff that's cramming you back in. That's all stuff that's making you be a part of this thing that you don't really want to be a part of. And it really is fucked up. So, like, dude, I'm just it's pressure, man. It's pressure. So what we've done right now, what I feel like I've done in this resume, this essay, is we've established that this is not freedom, right? We can safely say that this is not freedom because I just gave you all the instances of how leaving is not a possibility. That there's been a lot of social community pressures pressuring you in. It gives you dependency for food, and just like when you're a slave, and if you move in the other direction, you're going to starve because the boss is giving you a roof over your head, food, subsistence, community. And if you leave, the KKK's coming your way. Well, this is just a different... Maybe it's not as bad, okay? I'm not saying wage slavery is as brutal as chattel slavery, all right? I'm just saying it's a little fucking different, all right? Don't get your panties in a bundle here. Now I'm going to get to the other reason why you hate it, okay? The other reason you hate this system, the other reason it's crushing your spirit, is because it's completely against human nature. It's completely against the things we're wired as upright Homo sapiens to value. Freedom, creativity, a little bit of shit talking. You know, these are things that are not allowed in the workplace. And here's things that we're not wired for. Clocking in, clocking out, and getting a corporate ass hammering from your fucking boss, okay? So the reason for all this, we're all collectively like side-eyeing the whole work for a living thing, is because it goes against everything that makes us human, right? And happy lives that we want to live in our daisy little white picket fence dreams. And just coming to terms with that is just too fucking depressing, okay? It makes us sad little monkeys. Sad little wage monkeys that face reality. So I want to break it down more thoroughly for you wage monkeys, all right? Us wage monkeys, us. Come on, I'm a part of this too. I'm a part of your crew. I'm your beloved guild master. So one of the things why working culture, wage slavery, goes against just basic human nature is that it turns you into a robot. You fucking robots! You like to think you're in control, but you're not in control, right? Like having to write passive-aggressive emails and filling out TPS reports? Come on. You're trapped like you've never been trapped before. It's Simon Says, okay? But you ain't Simon. Another reason, we'll call this reason number 2, is creativity. You're stifled. You've had your wings clipped. It's not available. This life that you're looking for is been sold out. Okay, it's sold out. Humans are creative creatures. We desire to input our being, our essence, our will into reality, and you're not doing that. You're doing some other person's bidding. You want to be like Julia Roberts from Live, Laugh, Love, okay? Gosh. But wage labor, this is what it does, okay? It turns you into something you hate. You're just doing it to survive, and strips away any sense of purpose or fulfillment. And this brings me to number 3, okay? Because it's injustice. You understand that this is injustice. You can understand that this is basically an autocratic system. It's like the real Hunger Games. You're hungry, and so you're going to play these games that are set forth for you by the master class, the big bellies, the elites. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny and it's kind of sad, but you realize it's an injustice. And so you just keep doing it. You keep working while folks at the top, they roll in the bank, man. They're rolling in dough like they're freaking Scrooge McDuck diving into his gold pile. And then number 4, here's the other reason you don't like it, is because of social fragmentation. It's divide and conquer, my friends. It's divide and conquer. It's depressing, right? Humans, we're social animals. We need connection. We need community. But what kind of community do you really get from the workplace? I mean, it's what it really is. It's social Darwinism. You're pitted against your work buddies. You're pitted against Karen from accounting. It's not in the world of wage labor. It's every man for himself. You have to be a Sigma one-man wolf pack. What you call community is just everyone stealing each other's coconuts. That's not team spirit. What is that? That's weird. That's a weird, deranged manipulation of reality, of our community spirit. And most businesses, they know that. And number 5 here, this is a good one. Stress, right? This is why you hate it. It's because, and it kills your spirit, it's because of stress, the gift that keeps on giving. The lack of autonomy, the constant performance monitoring, the constant performance monitoring, the boss comes in and like sneaks up behind you. He creeps in through the side hatch just so he can like look at you, look over your shoulders to tell you you're not working hard enough. And newsflash, it's never hard enough. It'll never be enough. You're like on Hitler's treadmill. It just keeps going and the speed keeps increasing. The moment you catch your breath, you're out. You get in trouble. All right? So here's a funnier take on that. I think I have a better take on this. So here we go. Hold on. Let me adjust this. Okay. Byung-Chul Han. He's a guy. He wrote a cheery little book. Maybe you've heard of it. The Burnout Society, right? In this book, he points out that this pressure to be a superstar at everything, it's basically a one-way ticket to burnout city, It's entrepreneur culture. It's the grind set. It's cringe. That shit is cringe as fuck. And it's a culture that's so toxic. And we never talk about, well, I talk about it. They talk about it. Some people talk about it. It's toxic, okay? It's toxic as fuck. If Grindset was Scooby-Doo villain that we'd had to unmask, it would reveal self-exploitation and a sort of internalized violence. So he says in this book, our modern work life is like being handed a shovel and you're told to dig your own burnout grave, one unrealistic expectation at a time. So he also notes that as we've moved from old school, sit down and shut up approach to jobs, the postmodern age, the pre-postmodern was you do what I tell you to do because I'm your boss and I tell you what to do. That was the old approach. We're bringing in the new approach. It's a shiny new thing. You could do whatever you want. You just have to believe in yourself and grind it out. Everything is just mindset. It's just mindset and it's not systemic oppression, okay? It's just mindset. That's the difference. And what that does is it brings us to this weird, convoluted, distorted sense of reality where we're just trying to be a go-getter. But the more you try to be a go-getter, the more you feel like a fucking loser. Basically, the more we push ourselves to be the best, the more we end up curled up in the fetal position, just wondering where life went wrong. It's no wonder burnout and anxiety are skyrocketing, like they're fucking trying to win a medal. In a few years, there's totally going to be an Olympic category for mental illness, namely wage slave-induced mental illness. So, wage monkeys. Here's where we move along. Let me give you a little Snapple fact. As if you're not engaged enough here. Okay. The prevalent sentiment. Here's a note from a Gallup study that revealed 13% of employees worldwide feel truly engaged by their work, leaving a staggering 87% in various stages of detachment. This connection isn't merely a personal dilemma, but a structural flaw fostered by modern work environments that often diminish job satisfaction and personal growth. Okay, so don't feel alone. 87% of people feel like pieces of shit. Okay? The next question we need to ask is, how do we reboot our spirituality? How do we reboot our soul when it's been dragged through the mud, when we have been led to believe we dragged it through the mud, when in fact it was just systemic rot? This is a modern condition. No? Yes? No? Let's get one thing clear here. This is not some deviation from the system, okay? It's the very essence of it. It's capitalism in its most upsurgent, purest permutation. It's not just exploitation of labor. It goes way beyond that shit. It's about the exploitation of your soul. It's about the exploitation of your fucking being, okay? The system doesn't just want your time or your productivity. It wants your spirit. It needs it. It craves it. It's like Smeagol. It must have everything. It must be for me. It can't just be okay with leaving some things as it is. Everything, all accumulation needs to move towards capital and away from working class laborers, from like you and me. It wants your spirit, okay? It wants your inner drives. It wants to subsume everything, every single detail of reality under its own stupid fucking logic. So, like, we might not be able to completely abolish wage slavery. I'm just throwing that out there right now, okay? I'm just throwing this out there. We may not be able to abolish it, okay? But we might be able to reform it. There might be a way to give and take here. So what are some things we could do? What do you do here? Well, it's going to be kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky, right? The common sense response is, well, let's revolt. Let's break free. I want to go protest. I want to go protest with Pepsi and one of the Jenner sisters. Okay, right, sure. That's already been co-opted. Let me just tell you that's what they want you to do. That's kind of like what they lead you to. It doesn't ever change anything. Protesting and being just a general fucking activist, that's mainstream now. That doesn't work. It does not fucking work. Writing a sign and holding up a sign does fucking nothing. It does absolutely nothing. You see, because the system is very clever. It's a very clever system. It's co-opted that. It's co-opted that particular way of rebellion. So, I mean, you leave your job, you find another, the cycle continues, you can't protest. If you protest, it doesn't do anything. That's the true horror of wage slavery, is that the modes of rebelling against it have been commodified. Look at the BLM things that went on for like 2 fucking years. It was like supported by big businesses. They liked that shit. They wanted it. They were all on board with it. Look at like what's this debauchery that's been happening with the LGBTQ fucking cult movement. There's more hypocrisy there than a vegan wearing a leather suit, I tell you. Like, so what do you do if you can't rebel? I would say the first step is to recognize that this breaking of your spirit, it's not your fault, okay? Any shortcomings that you feel, you didn't grind enough, you didn't take opportunities, this is not your fault, right? Stop blaming yourself. For God's sakes, kids, stop blaming yourself. This awareness itself now that you're aware of it, you're gaining a little bit of class knowledge, that's the resistance. That is what the resistance is. Stop taking this violence and turning it against your shortcomings. You got to reclaim your inner world, your desires, your sense of self from the clutches of this commodification machine. But let's not be naive. Don't be a dumbass here. It's not about some romantic notion of freedom. Freedom in capitalism is fucking fake. Like I told you that already. If you feel like you're free, that's fake. It's phony. It's garbage. It's fugazi. You have to instead do what Slavoj Zizek says, which would be create a kind of strategic withdrawal. I don't understand. Like, here's the best way I can understand it. It's like one of the most slickest moves you can make is just flat out refuse to play the game. Just dodge out of society altogether. But I think that's really realistic, because that also goes against human nature, to be out of a community, not have a structured way to get income, not have a roof over your head. Like that's all shit we need too. Okay, so we'll cut that out away, because I would just be a hypocrite if I said, now you're gonna take one unnatural system for another. You can't trade that. You need like a steady balance. So one of the ways to refuse to play the game is to, minimize the reach of this system into your life. Perhaps through small acts of refusal. Refuse to give wholeheartedly into your job that they expect you to. They want you to have that spirit of the work, and they don't just want your your work and labor. They pretend like that you have to be really spirited, and you just don't. He's not showing enough initiative. He's not showing enough like he's into it. They want that too. They want your spirit. Don't give them that. Just give them the bare minimum, okay? Give them what they paid for. This is what you're paid to do the work, okay? Check your contract, your work contract. What does it say on there? Do that work, and that's it. You're not paid to be their fucking lab rat, okay? Another thing you could do. Live entirely for the weekend. Don't stop this whole fucking grind set bullshit because it's fucking gay, okay? Take one from the prophet J.R. Bob Dobbs, peace be upon him, all hail the machine. He says that we have to slack off, and that is, slack is sacred. Slack off. Be a bum. Stop making goals. Don't have goals. Like, kill your goals, kill your dreams. Don't have them. Just don't have them. And another thing to do is when consumerism brings around something new, some new product to the market that you're supposed to just like salivate over, just be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, brah. Don't want it. A new iPhone 27? No, thanks. Don't really give a crap. I'm good with my fucking, my other phone here. Okay. Another one is collective power. They hate this one. This is the one that they all hate. They all hate collective power because it takes away from that myth of the individualism is going to get us out of this. Individualism, collective power. And remember this, because your struggle is not just about you. It's a collective of people that are going through this. Wage slavery breaks your spirit, but it also breaks the spirit of millions of other people. Connect with those other people, I swear. Being here, listening to me, I'm not here for money. I'm not getting paid to be here. When I do, I will probably fuck off too. No, I'm just kidding. I want to build a community of people that want to create, to use the system to their own benefit. That's the idea of it. I'm not anti-capitalism. I'm just anti-elitism. I'm anti it not working for everybody. Capitalism should work for everybody, This is where the seeds of genuine resistance can be planted, okay, in collectivism. Here at this channel. That's why you should like and subscribe. So what you would do is we'd build a coalition against the system, like Yanis Varoufakis suggests. I don't know if I said his name right. He's Greek. So what he suggests is, he was talking about this in a way to resist what he called techno-feudalism. It requires creating a grand coalition among all forms of labor, including traditional workers, gig economy participants, and like the many people that produce cloud capital without remuneration. This is collective effort. This is where we'll take collective effort and we'll aim it towards reestablishing a democratic system that prioritizes human needs over capital. Or maybe not democracy. I'm not no, it's questionable. Democracy is what got us here in the first place. Maybe figure something else out. In short, my friend, the task is not to escape wage slavery, but to resist its totalizing power over your spirit. It is not to recognize that true freedom cannot exist within this system, but must be wrestled away from it inch by inch with every act of conscious resistance. Okay, thank you very much. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel. You understand, if you're here, you understand how YouTube works, right? Just do that. Thank you.